Hey everybody, Chris Stokes from Custom Fitness Personal Training Studio. Alright, we're coming down to the wire. We've got 5 days left until the start of downsize. We are down to our final 3 spots. If you are ready to lose up to 15 inches in 6 weeks from eating real food and exercising, then you need to jump in on this deal. We are offering this at an extremely low rate. You're not only getting unlimited small group training, but you have the option of upgrading for the VIP version where you get 6 private personal training sessions with one of our awesome coaches. Our team's going to hold you accountable, provide you with nutrition, meal plans, like sample menus, recipes, all that kind of good stuff, as well as awesome workouts that last 30 minutes or less and have little to no equipment. Things you can get done even when you're crunched for time. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, or that person that keeps nagging you, feel free to pass this on to them. But we've only got 3 spots left. We want you to be one of the ones who fills that spot. So feel free to comment below "I'm in" or ask for more information. Give us a call, 322-3188. We'd be happy to get that application over to you and help you to get in on this awesome deal. So let's say, for today's topic, that maybe you've been injured. You've been consistent with your workouts up to now. You've been seeing some great results, and all of a sudden, injury strikes. This comes about because I've had a lot of people that I know recently that have gotten into car wrecks. I don't know what's happened this last month, but everybody's been kind of crazy in their driving. And so a lot of people have gotten into some car wrecks, and they've gotten whiplash, and they're hurting through the back and the neck and everything, and they've obviously got to take some time off of their normal routine. But they still want to see progress. They don't want to backtrack. So what do? Well, in the case of a car wreck with the whiplash and things like that, obviously it would depend on the extent of the injury. Some people can bounce back from a light wreck with no problem. Some people have a little bit harder time, and some people get hit pretty darn hard and end up with some big problems. So let's say that the doctor told you that you've got to take off the next 2 to 4 weeks to recover, and you're doing some light stretching and all those kinds of things. How do you keep your results going? Well, number one, we check out your nutrition, because we all know that nutrition is about 70 to 80% of the battle. So if we can get your nutrition on track and make sure that we're not taking in a ton of extra calories that we're not going to be burning off, that's great. So number one is get all your water in. Who saw that one coming? So number 2 is to make sure that we're getting enough protein, enough vegetables, but that we're kind of easing back on the carbs. So not necessarily going a typical low carb diet, but definitely backing off on them. If you're not being active, we don't need to eat as many. Remember that your body does not physically have to have grains, but it does physically need starches. So your fruits and your vegetables are great sources of that. I would still limit the fruits down to about 2 servings, maybe a little bit less each day, and I would focus more on the vegetables, things like your beans, your potatoes, your peas, those kinds of starchy vegetables, so that you're increasing your vegetable count, still getting in some starches, but not overdoing it. Again, the starches would still be about 0 to 1 servings during the day, and so if you feel like eating them, then aim to have about a serving of them a day. But if you're not being active, if you're just having to sit on the couch, then maybe make it like an every other day thing and really focus on that protein, vegetable, and healthy fat ratio, making sure that we're getting all 3 of those things in with our water. So if you're doing those things, that's awesome. It's going to help you not to overgain during that time of recovery. But then we've got the people who've been consistent with their exercises, just don't want to stop. They don't want to not be doing anything. Maybe they're afraid that whenever they get healed that they won't be back in the habit of it, they'll stop, or maybe it's just that they enjoy it so much they don't like the physical feeling of not doing anything. So in that case, again, it depends on what the doctor said, obviously, so we need to listen to their recommendations, but most of the time, as long as the injury is light and we're just trying to recover mildly, then what we're looking at is things like light stretching, walking, even core engagement. So not doing crunches necessarily, but perhaps standing and contracting your core. And so a good way to do that is to place your hand in front of your stomach and just place it right on your shirt. Place it right on your stomach so you feel it, but don't press in. So you'd be placing it on the stomach, and then you'd squeeze your stomach away. And if my shirt was, there we go. So we would squeeze our stomach away, and we'd create a gap, keeping our hand in that same spot, and then we'd bring the stomach back out to the hand. So we'd squeeze away and pull in, and then we'd release it back out. Maybe we build up to where we squeeze in say, 10 different increments. We squeeze in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we hold it for like 30 seconds to 45 seconds, and then we release back out in those 10 increments. That's a possibility too, and it would help to strengthen that core. Now what you're also going to be working on as you do that, you'll notice that you can't really do that in a crunched over position and feel real great with it. So you're also working on posture at the same time. So your posture is something awesome that you can work on no matter where you're at on the recovery phase, working on posture, working on squeezing the core, walking, light stretching. Now if you've got a neck pain, people tend to kind of stretch and pull on their head, and what ends up happening is we actually end up stressing the muscle out a little bit. So what we're going to do is just some light stretching, but maybe more of a massage type technique, maybe with a stick or just a hand motion, anything like that, to be able to relax the muscle. Obviously ice, heat, whatever the doctor's recommended in that realm, we want to make sure and let the body rest and heal. And then when you're ready, jump back into the exercise, but not at the level you were at. So let's say that you're out for 3 weeks from a wreck and you're ready to jump back in. But if you jump back in at the level that you were at 3 weeks ago, your body has kind of deconditioned itself over that time. It only takes about 7 to 10 days to start losing the muscular tone, the muscular strength that we built. It doesn't mean that it won't come back, it starts to atrophy at that point. And so it will come back faster the second time around than what it did the first time, which is great news. But that also means that maybe we're not quite at the same physical level 3 weeks later than what we were before the injury. So we're going to make sure and kind of take a step back, mentally open the mind and say, okay, it doesn't matter if I lift the same weight or do the same reps. I'm going to listen to my body today and do what it's telling me to do. So more often than not, whenever we really tune into what our body's needing, we're going to find that maybe we're pushing ourselves a little bit too hard, and coming back from an injury is not the time to do that, because you're likely to end up re-injuring yourself, even if it was something completely different. So you didn't get injured lifting weights, you got injured, let's say, that car wreck, but coming back and doing too much weight too fast or too much exercise too fast can cause the body to re-injure itself because it's still in that healing process. So remember that if you get hurt, whatever kind of hurt it is, first of all, check it out with the doctor, make sure you get their recommendations. Secondly, check in with your nutrition, make sure that you're getting the right amounts, the right balance, and the right timing, so you're not overdoing things that are going to cause you to regret what's happened in the last few weeks, and that way then you can continue working towards your goals. And then you're going to check in with your exercise, and if the doctor's recommended that it's okay for you to exercise some, then you're going to do some light things to start out with, like the gentle stretching, the walking, the squeezing the core, the working on the posture, and then as soon as the doctor clears you, you're set to go back. You're going to listen to your body and take time to really figure out where you're at in this new normal now that you're recovered, and where do we need to start from in order to get back to where you were. A lot of times it's going to take about half the time, sometimes even less, to get back to where you were, because it really won't take you off track that far. But if you're sitting on the couch for 3 weeks eating bonbons and Cheetos, then you're probably going to have a little trouble getting back in the mix. So again, if you are interested in more help from people who know their stuff, and not only that, but care about you, we'd love to help you. 322-3188. Be happy to set you up with a consultation where you can come in and see what we're all about and see if we're a good fit for you. But again, if you know somebody who really is needing to lose some inches, is tired of all the hype and all the supplements and things like that, they just want to make a lifestyle change and start to find a way to do this simplified and efficient way of changing their life, then we would love to have them in the Downsize program. Once again, we've got 3 spots available, so feel free to pass that information along to whoever in your life that needs it, and we will sign them up. Let's check out their application and give them a call and see if we can get them set up for that. So you guys have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.